Okay, so mostly you all come from batch number 72. So we completed DevOps with AWS training. It took around 3 months, 1 week. So all of your goal is to settle as DevOps and cloud engineer with better package. So to reach that goal, you have multiple steps, to complete. So first thing is, let me do it in an ML format. Okay. So DevOps goals. So first thing is learning technology. So you already completed. I hope you all learned properly here. And then practice technology. Okay, so these two things I hope you guys completed. If not, again start from the scratch. Practice multiple times. Just practicing a single time will not give you so much confidence. Okay, so we spent around 120 hours of training. Definitely you have to spend 4 times, like around 480 hours of training. Combining 600 hours of training can make you an experienced DevOps and cloud engineer. Okay, so you'll become more, you'll have more knowledge and more experience than the actual DevOps and cloud engineer, because whatever the tools we have taught here, so those are the complete list of DevOps and cloud tools available in the market. Okay, at least popular tools. So no one in the real time, no person in the real time, they don't know these many tools and concepts properly. Okay, maybe they have been working on few tools like Jenkins and Ansible. Few persons will be working on only Kubernetes. Few persons will be working on only SonarQube, Nexus, Git, something like that. So no person can completely work on complete DevOps tools and cloud services. Okay, but we taught completely because we don't know which tool you will get it in your team. Okay, so just practice whatever we taught completely multiple times. That's the main responsibility you should complete before preparing your resume. Okay, so these are the 3 steps, if I say. And then now resume template. First, let us discuss about resume template. Okay, just learning the technology and practicing the technology is not enough, because the first line of success, first goal you should reach, first milestone you should reach as part of DevOps engineer is convincing the other side person, like HR or manager, technical manager, your team member, whoever reviewing your profile. You should convince them you know all those things whatever you mention in the resume properly. Okay, and you have to showcase your experience, your resume as you are at least 3 to 4 years of experience DevOps engineer. You know all those concepts, you know all the, you should mention all the tools and technologies asked in the job description. Okay, that is the main responsibility. So as resume is a thing on behalf of you. Okay, you cannot speak with HR directly whenever you are applying for the jobs, right? So they will check your profile. It should be in a good format. You should mention the points very clearly, and they will send the resume to the technical managers. They should also like your resume. So resume is a very, very important step once you complete the learning and practice. So let us discuss on the proper template, how to mention, how to prepare your resume. Okay. So usually I spend at least three days to 7 days to prepare my own resume. For example, if I want to change any company of my present company, then I should definitely spend minimum 3 days to 1 week on. I should read the points in my resume multiple times. I will understand the points mentioned in the resume completely, so that you will get more confidence. Mostly persons generally what they do is, candidates what they do, they will copy from some resumes from the internet. They will change the name, mobile number and email ID, and they will keep everything as it is. They don't know what they have mentioned in the resume itself. They didn't even read. But sometimes technical managers, if they want to evaluate you properly, they will take 5 to 10 minutes of time and they will read the resume completely. Then they will ask the questions based on the points you mentioned in the resume. Okay, so to achieve success at each and every situation, it is always recommended to know your resume properly. You spend more time on the resume instead of copying from the internet. So first I'll discuss the resume template. So whatever the resume you keep, it should be, if you follow this template, then the selection percentage of your profile will be very good. Okay. So first thing, left side, your name, your full name with your family name. Okay. Just don't keep your name like Siva. Mention your full name, email, and phone number. Okay. And then right side, keep the certification badges. First, let us understand this template properly, and later I will discuss the resume points I prepared. Okay. Like this. Okay, left side. This is not a proper template. I will give you many templates. Okay. Left side, keep your name, your position. Senior DevOps engineer, DevOps lead, or DevOps manager, something like that. Email and phone number. Phone number, keep it in a readable format. Don't mention like this, 628193709. Don't mention like this. Keep it in a readable format. Okay. Like this. And then, so right side, keep the certification badges like this. AWS Solution Architect Associate, CKA badge, and then Terraform Associate badge. Whatever the badges you got from your certifications, keep them on the right side. So by seeing this, they will immediately get some good hope on your profile. Like, so you completed few certifications, then it means you achieved something. Okay. And next, you mentioned career objective. So career objective is nothing but, so what are you now? What is your vision? What is your mission? And what you want to become, like within next 5 years, or what you want to become in future in IT. Okay. So what you know, what you want, what you are, for example, what you want to become next 5 years. So usually, mostly people copy this from internet. It's not a problem even you copy this from the internet. This career objective, maximum 5 lines. Okay. But you read what you have written there. Okay. So for example, so these are the career objective points I mentioned here. Okay, just read one of this. Highly motivated DevOps and cloud engineer with a strong passion for driving innovation, optimizing process, and ensuring seamless software delivery in cloud-based environments. So if you want to tell about DevOps and cloud engineer in 2 points, your responsibility is to deploy the application in a cloud environment or on-premise, whatever it is. It should be completely automated. You need to optimize the process. You should always think of improving the current process. That is the DevOps engineer main goal. Automated deployments from dev to production. That is the main responsibility. So your career objective should mention that point. So for example, I mentioned here 3 points. Okay, whatever I'm showing you here, don't copy paste as it is. Okay, because we are teaching thousands of students from long back. If you copy the same lines as it is, then it is not good. Okay, there is a chance HRs may catch you. Okay, but it's a less percentage, maximum 5 to 10%. But meaning can be same. You can just change the sentence structure. You can keep this thing at front and the first thing at last. So just understand the meaning what I'm saying. So this is what it should have. It's okay even if you copy this from internet, it doesn't matter. This is not much important, but it is always good to keep it. And next thing, you keep the professional summary. So what is this professional summary? This is 80% important of your resume. Okay, some points. So always HR see directly this page, right side your certification badges, and directly this first page. Okay, so job description, for example, let me take one job description from Naukri. DevOps engineer, 3 years. So in job description, managers always mention something like the key technologies you should know. Okay, for example, CI/CD tools like Jenkins, GitHub, SonarQube. HRs, they will note down these points. Okay, so they don't know about software engineering. All they know is your resume should have these keywords: Jenkins, GitHub, SonarQube, unit integration, CI/CD, TBMS. Okay, you can see here key skills: AWS, Kubernetes, Terraform, Jenkins, CI/CD, Docker. So these are the keywords they will search in your profile. Let us take another thing like this, 1 to 4 years. You can see here continuous integration, DevOps, deployment, continuous improvement, risk management, troubleshooting, customer experience, monitoring. So they will search for these words in your resume. So this is 80% of your profile. So I suggest you keep, for example, what are the tools we learned here in our training, tools and technologies. Okay. Let me mention according to the category. What is the OS? Linux, Linux administration knowledge, intermediate level. For example, Linux commands, Linux permissions, user management, package management, service management, network management, disk management, and VIM editor. VIM editor, and then, so all these things, right? So as part of OS. And then next, what you learned here, scripting. Scripting, shell. And then Git, like we have practiced GitHub. Okay, even GitLab, Bitbucket, everything is 100% same in a Git. And then continuous integration. So these are the popular technologies in the market. What is the continuous integration tool we learned here? Jenkins. And then continuous scanning. What is the scanning tool we learned here? SonarQube. And build tool. Build tools, Maven for Jenkins, and then NPM for Node.js projects, and pip for Python related projects, NPM for Node.js and React.js, right? And continuous scanning, SonarQube is done. Artifactory tool. What is the Artifactory tool we learned here? Nexus. Okay. And continuous configuration management. What is the configuration management we learned here? Ansible. And then infrastructure as a code tool. We learned Terraform. Containers, we learned Docker. Container orchestration, we learned Kubernetes. Okay, and other tools we learned Helm. And what else? Can anybody help me with what else we learned? Yeah, monitoring. Monitoring, we learned Prometheus. Grafana. And the New Relic. And ELK stack we learned, right? Elasticsearch, Logstash, and Kibana. And AWS, coming to AWS, you know, many services that is like VPC, EC2 instances, auto scaling, launch templates, and then load balancers, you know, Route 53, you know how to create a hosted zones and A records, CNAME records, and then, you know, RDS instances, you know, other databases like Elastic Cache, and, you know, security groups and NACLs. And what else? You know, I am to create rows and policies, users and groups, WAF and shield to secure the endpoints. Okay. And KMS to encrypt the text. Okay, so thank you, Pavan. You are helping us. And, you know, EKS for container orchestration in AWS, and then parameters stored as part of SSM, system management. So these are all the services which can be covered as part of AWS Solution Architect Associate. This is the minimum. These are the more services than AWS Solution Architect Associate. So we learned these many things. So you should understand the problem solved by this technology. Okay. Yeah, and storage, as part of storage, you learned S3, EBS, EFS. Okay. So you learned these many technologies in last 3 months, and I hope you would have practiced very well. Okay. So in this professional summary, you should at least mention one point on these things. Okay. So then there is no chance of not selecting you. So there is 200% chance of selecting your profile for any position from 3 years to 15 years or 20 years, whatever it is. Okay. So make sure you should mention at least one point on these concepts, at least one point. And very important thing is you should highlight like this. Okay. So then they don't even read, because they don't know. They don't know about this technology. They only want proper format, and then you should have all these things in your profile. That's it. If you bold it, then they will directly select your profile. Okay. Each point on the tools and technology, tools and concepts, you know. Bold the tool name. Okay. So I mentioned here, for example, let us take Linux. I mentioned here 3 points. You should mention at least 1 point with the meaning of this. Okay. So, you know, administrating and then manage Linux based systems, like we all practiced on CentOS 8. Okay. RHEL is same as CentOS 8, 100% same as CentOS 8. And AWS Linux is also 100% same as CentOS 8. So it means you are telling to the HR or technical manager, you are aware of Linux administration concepts, like you are aware of Red Hat Enterprise Linux, CentOS, or AWS Linux, etc. Okay. And you are telling one more point, skilled in utilizing command line tools, you know, Linux command, you know, log analysis, how to check the logs in Linux systems. And then you know how to diagnostics, like checking the ports open or not, connecting to the other server or not through telnet, pinging other servers to check the internet connectivity. You know all these things, how to troubleshoot within the Linux server. You are mentioning this point. So whatever you are mentioning, read this line multiple times and understand the inner meaning of this. And then you justify yourself whether you know or not. If you know, then only you keep it. Otherwise, you don't keep it. Okay. So since we taught everything, each and everything here, I mentioned. Okay. So it is justified if you know this and mentioning only. Otherwise, it is not justified. So, you know, user management, package management, service management, network management, disk management. So you are mentioning these points. So at least mention one of this point, whatever you are confident in. Okay. Keep one point, and then I will tell you where to mention other points. Okay. So I will share you this file. Okay. Let us discuss on the template. So this is the professional summary. Next, very important thing is technical skills table. Okay. So this table, just create a table and mention the category and mention which you know. So just now we discussed, right? We know operating systems, Linux, you know, and that Windows, you are already using Windows laptop, so you know Windows. And source code management, Git, GitLab, Bitbucket, whatever it is same. Build tools, Maven. Instead of Gradle, you can say npm, pip, etc. CI, continuous integration, you know Jenkins. Configuration management, you know Ansible and Ansible Tower. Infra as a code, infrastructure as a code, Terraform. Monitoring tools, Nagios is Vault. You can just keep New Relic. And then cloud, you know AWS. If you know other clouds like Azure, you can mention that. Scripting languages, you know Shell. If you know Python, you can keep it. Programming languages, it doesn't mean you know how to write Java programs. It means you understand the Java project structure. Okay. For example, you understand Maven pom.xml. It means that one. It doesn't mean you know this programming languages. Okay. Scanning tools, you know Sonar. Okay. If you know other scanning tools, you can mention. You know another scanning like ECR image scanning, right? You can keep that. And container technology, you know Docker. This one you don't know anyhow. You don't keep. You know, it is not mandatory. Container orchestration, Kubernetes, you know. So keep this table properly. Then by seeing this table, then it is like mostly 90% of your resume. Just first page of professional summary and immediately technical skills table. Okay, mention the tools you know category wise. And then next important thing is certifications. This list of certifications you did. Okay, and then work experience. List of companies you worked. With the dates if possible. Okay. So like this. And then you can mention educational qualification. Okay. So the certifications through our coaching, through our training, you can complete AWS Solutions Architect Associate. And then Terraform Associate and Certified Kubernetes Administrator. Okay, so if you have budget, you do the certifications. Otherwise, it is not mandatory. Okay, more than a certified person, if you are confident on your technology and your concepts, then it is not always mandatory if you don't have budget. Okay, so mostly if you are working in a company, your companies will give you some reimbursement fee to do the certifications, then you are encouraged to do the certifications. Otherwise, if you don't have any budget, you are learning this DevOps and AWS, and if you don't have more budget personally, then you no need to do the certifications. Okay, you can beat other persons with your confidence and then more subject knowledge. And after this, now the projects. Okay, this is the I don't think any HRs will come to this much level. Okay. So list of projects, for example, project 1. And what is the name of the company? And client you worked for. If your client is same as your company product based, then mention the same. And then dates from and to. And then location, for example, Bangalore. Now roles and responsibilities. Okay, roles and responsibilities, they're obviously same as the professional summary. Okay, so ideally here, professional summary, what you are mentioning, what tools and concepts you know. Okay, so this is the professional summary, letting HR what you are aware of, what tool and concepts you are aware of. This is the professional summary meaning. But roles and responsibilities, how you implemented the tools and concepts in this project. Okay, so this is the one you have to mention. Obviously, mostly sometimes this point and this point will be the same, but it doesn't matter. Okay, you just tell them like I worked on this tool in this project. For example, let us discuss something like shell scripting. You mentioned this point, proficient in shell scripting for automating routine tasks, improving operational efficiency, and streamlining system administration process. For example, you mentioned this point in professional summary, and then you mentioned second point in the project. Utilize shell scripting to parse and process large data sets, manipulate files and directories. You know how to use SAD editor, right? So that comes with this point. And perform system level tasks such as user management, package installations, and system configurations. Now, what you are telling, so you utilize shell scripting in the project to take such to automate a few tasks like user management, package installations. Okay. So this one. So out of this list, understand the meaning of each point I mentioned here. Keep one point in professional summary. Keep another point in the projects. Another important thing I want to tell you is what are the projects you have to mention in your resume. Actually, very important point. Mostly nobody knows. DevOps don't care of projects. For example, if you are a developer, you are working in a SBI bank, credit card development team. If I am the interviewer, what I expect from your project explanation is what you are doing in the credit card team. What is your credit card business? Okay. So in which team you are working? Credit card points team or credit card activation team or credit card OTP team? So which team you are working? What is the business? What is the logic you are writing to make the business running? Okay. For example, you are working in a OTP team. So what is the logic of OTP? Whether you are hitting the third party SMS, whether you are sending through WhatsApp, you are sending through email, and how you are confirming whether the message has been delivered, what are the challenges you face. So these type of questions I expect as part of project description because he is a developer. If you are a developer of an application, you should know what is the business, what is the logic behind the business. But if you are a DevOps engineer, actually, I don't care what is the project. What I care is application deployment from dev to production in an automated way. And applications should run continuously without any errors. If there are any errors, we should immediately get the alerts. Okay, so many persons before taking the course, they're asking me, so what are the projects I should mention? Can I keep the RoboShop project? Okay, actually you keep RoboShop or you don't keep RoboShop. For example, you are working as a QA engineer in one project, just keep your project, whatever the project. For example, you are working for SBI, just mention SBI project, you are doing DevOps engineer. So when they ask, explain me about your project, what is the intention of the interviewer is how you are, what is the work you are doing to automate the applications from dev to production. Okay, ideally you should explain. So I am the DevOps engineer for SBI credit card team. So we have a lot of modules. We have some applications based on Java. We have some applications based on React.js and Node.js. Our responsibility is to create a CI/CD pipeline from dev to production in an automated way. As part of this pipeline, we will create multiple stages like cloning, compiling, building, packaging, unit testing, deploying, and then we will deploy through Ansible, and we will automate the configuration management in Ansible, and we have the infrastructure in cloud. So we have EC2 instances, we have Route 53 URLs, and we have the VPC configured, we have auto scaling groups. All these points you mentioned, that's it. They don't ask you what is the logic behind the credit card. Ideally, you can keep any project in the world. DevOps engineer always perform few things: automated deployments, and then automated provisioning of infrastructure, like using Terraform, and then monitoring. That's it. So if they're asking about the project, it doesn't mean you explain the logic behind the project. You can keep any project from Wikipedia. Just take the description from Wikipedia. For example, SBI Bank, you are working for, or any other like Tata Steel. Let me take Tata Steel. Just go to their Wikipedia. If you are not aware of your projects, few persons, they are coming from non-IT to IT, so they are not aware of the projects. For them, I'm saying, if you are already working in IT, you no need to search something. Whatever the existing project you are working in, just keep the same description. Okay, so myself, what I do is I'll just copy this. Maybe I have done this already in my own resume also. I do. So here, project description, maximum 5 lines. Okay. So this is how I mentioned. Just 5 lines. So they will understand what is your business, under which domain your business. Okay, they don't ask you the questions from here. So here, 1 point, project description. Maximum 5 lines from Wiki. Or if you're already working, then just keep the same. So like this, based on your experience, if you are 2 years experienced person, just mention 1 project. If you are ideal like 8 years experienced person, okay, so you learned DevOps, so you cannot keep complete 8 years on DevOps. So what you can do is you can keep 4 years on QA and 4 years on DevOps. If 4 years on DevOps, mention 2 projects. Just pick another project randomly from UK or US, whatever. Okay, maybe your friends are working in some clients. Just get the name from them. That's it, and go to their Wikipedia page, copy the description and mention it. Okay, so as an interviewer, I don't know whether you are really working in the project or not. So what I want to understand from you is you are able to convince me with the DevOps process you implemented in the project. That's it. Whether you are able to do the automated deployments by using CI/CD pipelines, whether you are able to create the containers and images, whether you are able to deploy the microservices using Kubernetes manifest files, whether you can do the templating of Kubernetes manifest through help charts. Okay, So whether you are able to write the shell scripts, Python scripts if required, where you are able to install the ELK stack, you can do some monitoring scripts or not. So I care all those things, whether you know the AWS services or not, whether you can do the automated provisioning of infrastructure through Terraform or not. So I'll mention, I care only those points, not about your project business. So I recommend you not worry about the project, at least in DevOps. Okay.